What's happening there, Reject Nation? We are going to watch ourselves some Arcane Episode 5 today. Guys, if you can hit that like button, that'd be very much appreciated. Subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when our next reaction for Arcane is up. Look, full-length watch-alongs we see with the time code on our Patreon. We cover a bunch of shows over there as well. And thank you to the boys at Prepper for writing down these highlights. I just want to watch this. Let's get to it. Whoa, wow. Crack shot.
For me, knowing how to handle this weapon means being able to protect people, to be of service to the city. That's trophy enough.
Nah.
What are you shooting for?
To be better than her parents.
A way out?
Or something deeper. Uh-oh.
Where did you get this?
My question first. You work for Silco?
They all do. How can anyone not know that? Where did you find this?
I've got orders from Councillor Tallis concerning inmate 516.
Not cooperative, huh? You want us to have a chat with her?
No.
Oh.
I'm so surprised.
I really want
What are you guys doing here? I like Caitlyn more already.
Yep.
It's funny how you can just say something in a review. And then
very
go,
next
ah, shit,
episode.
should just wait.
Yeah, you even got a little flashback. You even got a little bit of endearing flashback.
It just sounds so redundant to say how great the camera work is.
Who was this, Daddy?
Aww.
I'm a counselor now, Viktor. It's my responsibility to make sure the Hex gates are safe and protected. And what about our pledge to improve lives? For those in need?
That can wait.
10 years at least.
Chief suspect is an undercity gang. They call themselves Wild.
Oh no.
Viktor. He's trying to fight to get to the point where he wants to live to see this successful, man.
Turns it on. So, here goes.
Oh shit. She gonna bring her friends back to life?
Oh, memories. Oh boy. Stride.
Trinity. Damn, Violet. She ain't gonna keep up with you.
Kate is halfway back across town.
I'm still not following. They think. They adapt. You think Hextech can learn?
Artificial intelligence.
Oh, careful, buddy. Don't create HexNet.
There are those who covet your power over the wealth the Hex gates afford, and would take any opportunity to seize it from you. You've just made yourself everyone's common enemy, Jayce.
Maybe you shouldn't have voted for him to become a councilman.
Yeah, assess that risk. It's only his second day.
No. How dare you?
Kill the cat moment.
Wow.
Oh no.
Damn. She's like trauma walking around in human form.
Yeah, you're hurting down deep.
The Council assumes you'll fail. Time to prove them all wrong. Once again.
Then we'll do a jump cut to 5 jumps to show that
20 more years later.
The Hex gates are only the beginning. In fact, we're currently looking for new partners in our Hextech research. And as a supporter of House Tallis, you'd be the first in line to any of our advancements.
I can't tell if what Jayce is doing is right
I think you're right on track. Because I think it's teetering on wrong. Whether he likes it or not, he's a politician now.
Ooh la la.
If you really want people to talk to you, you have to let them think you have what they want.
And what do I have?
You're hot, Cupcake.
I'm Pim. What's your name?
Matilda. But you can call her whatever you want.
Ooh, yeah.
Matilda. My parents named me.
My parents know. Where are they?
They're in a brothel.
I'd like to go to one of these brothels one day.
Let's go. Red Light
Fun.
District.
Costume parties? Is that what they are?
Definitely. Yeah.
One final act to make you the martyr you've always seen yourself as.
Oh boy.
Whoa! What?
That's a good jump.
Yeah.
Then what are you waiting for?
Damn you.
Guys.
Coward.
You're the only one I can trust with this, Jinx.
I keep seeing them. That day.
Fear haunts us all, child.
Such a weasel.
Yeah, seriously.
Damn Silk.
Knows exactly when to talk down.
Have you heard anything about Powder? I think Silco has her.
Everyone
She
knows about
yeah.
Powder.
Who's gonna be the first to tell?
You did well today.
I had a good teacher.
I don't trust you, lady.
Imagine the wonders they could create if we put magic in their hands.
The world will never be the same. The Medardas usually only take from the world. We're not often in the position to give anything back.
No, but what about Caitlyn,
dude.
who might be gay?
Careful, my guy.
I don't trust her at all, man.
As much as I like her vibe.
Wow, they're really making out.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen an animated thing in a while.
I don't think I've ever seen an animated kiss that fleshed out. Ooh. No. Oh.
It's gonna do something with his blood. It's gonna like fuse with his blood or something.
Blood magic. Ha ha. Wow.
Wow, it was like psychedelic.
Yeah. This is what that sex scene in Eternal should have been.
I almost drowned in these waters.
You told me a million times.
Get over it, jeez.
You need to let Powder die. So the fear of pain will no longer control you.
Become the Jinx. Love their use of POVs.
Is Magic Dragon's gonna make a cameo?
Maybe. Is that them?
Looks kinda
I
like
don't know what they
their
look like.
likeness. Not exactly like them, but kinda.
Oh no.
How much time do I have?
The end of the episode. Whoa!
What we're talking about.
Oh, set the blunt flying, jeez.
You filthy traitor. Vander had his chance.
Oh no.
What the hell? Oh, God.
She got like a robo arm. Ooh, no.
I get it. That's how she had the lines on her earlier, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, don't go for the robot arm. God, such great fighting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Finish her.
Nice. God,
Hold your own, Vi.
such a badass brawler. I love it.
Yeah.
That's right. Damage her. Damage her.
Ouch.
And that's with having enhanced serum and a Bucky Barnes arm.
Yeah.
You mean Jinx? She works for him.
She's a secret weapon, yo.
She's like his daughter.
Bye.
Where are you, Caitlyn?
I'll give her your regards.
That's so cool. They brought it back. That's so awesome.
Perfect.
I love it.
And it emerges just like the targets did.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
You're an all right shot.
I'm an excellent shot.
Bitch.
The sister. She's back.
I just got her over the trauma.
The dead. Oof.
So she's just been hiding this whole time?
I guess maybe.
Where's she been hiding?
In prison.
She's just been in prison all this time?
I don't know. I mean, they said that one thing when Caitlyn goes in there about, like, you know, they don't have almost any information on her, whatever. She's just there. I don't know.
Silco really thought she was dead. Oh my gosh. He always wants to play that cat.
He's a real playboy. Real player.
Copper,
Copper, it's time to grow up and get a job. You can't play every day,
He's got a
Copper.
toy in his mouth, yep. Now he dropped the toy. He wants me to go up. That cat. Okie dokie. Well, Caitlyn shot up a lot in my book.
Hey.
She's awesome.
Hell yeah.
She's awesome. She's like really awesome. I love the bookend with her too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice prologue, and it was nice to get, even though, you know, we were talking about the time jump last episode, it was nice to jump back for a minute.
She just never wanted to be treated special. She never wanted to be treated with privilege.
Yeah, she wants to earn her way in the world.
And, yeah, she hates being, like, having, oh my gosh, Copper!
Got a lot of opinions on the show.
Yeah, she's awesome. I thought she's great. I like the chemistry between her and Violet a lot.
Yeah.
And Violet is, oh man, I can't decide. I really like what they're doing with Jinx a lot. Especially that scene where she was like going back to their former hideout, and the way they deal with that, like the opaque nature and the flashes of everything that's happening there, those quick little glimpses, and the way they seamlessly intertwine the flashbacks almost as in like these mirroring ways.
Yeah.
It was so beautifully done. And I love how tortured she is, and also this like gaslighting, manipulative way that Silco has done.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if someone talks to me that way, I'd probably fall for it too, you know?
Yeah.
This is like, yeah, you're not wrong, you know, you gotta free yourself from the past and stuff.
Let that person die.
Yeah.
Kill them if you have to.
Kill them if you have to.
Emerge anew into your power. I like that they're doing, I mean, I like what they're doing with Jinx, yeah, because it's one of those instances where I can feel powder somewhere in there deep down inside, but at the moment, you know, like I feel like you could stand back and go, well, you know, part of the journey's got to be that maybe her and Violet will come back together, but I really honestly don't know. Like, it seems, I mean, when they have their confrontation, I'm sure that's going to be a big moment, but yeah, I like the nuance of that, because you can still feel Jinx and Powder kind of struggling against each other in small ways, whereas Jinx is like really kind of is inching towards being her full form, you know, and obviously that moment with Silco is taking us even closer to there. But yeah, like all her little psychosis moments and also like just the glitches and the weird stuff they work into that, they're really sensory and unnerving.
That's a good way to put it. I think with her, I mean, just as in terms of a character, I would probably say that, I mean, Jinx is just a facade. Jinx is not who she really is. At least that's the way I'm taking it. Like, she's clearly still the little girl on the inside.
Yeah.
You know, like that's all this whole thing that she's built is all stemmed from escaping what she's done and who she really is underneath all that.
Yeah,
that's where it all comes from. You know, it's that hurt child.
She's trying to be Jinx.
Like everything around her that Jinx has created is a constant reminder of who she really is internally. That no matter what kind of bravado it puts on, it's just nothing more than a mask. And so that's where the hope comes in. Like she does devilish deeds and whatnot, and she's manic, but that's all a sign of someone who just straight up PTSD. And I like the way they capture her in that framing, and then she's with someone who's very manipulative, and the way how he operates is just so goddamn sadistic, man.
And they're great at playing his whole line of being like, I'm going to be very warm and I'm going to encourage you, but you just know how sinister he is at the core. I like that they don't, like, I like the characterization of him generally, though, because you can see easily how people might be manipulated by this guy.
Yeah, in the first 3 episodes, you're just like, this dude's straight up evil.
He's got the evil look, he's got the evil demeanor.
The way he talks.
Yeah.
But now there's more of a confidence and more of a swagger, allowing people to see that sometimes he comes across sincere.
Yeah, and I can see how this guy has a strong following in the wake of Vander, being gone. Even if it is toxic and poisonous.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I really loved about this show that really stood out to me in terms of the visual direction is, beyond all the many things we've always talked about with the action, is they really know how to make objectivity feel so massive in scale, depending on where they prop the camera. Like if they lock onto something that's close to their POV, to their eye line, they can make objects just seem massive. And I love that effect. It works in an emotional way, and sometimes it just looks so badass.
And a really expressive use of perspective and angles, and I feel like that part kind of reminds me of anime in a certain way. Like in a way that doesn't break and medley its form as much as anime. Like, this is really unified in terms of how the animation and the visuals are realized, but they still have that extreme sense of scale and perspective.
And with Violet, what's fascinating about her is that she's also equally traumatized in her own way, except she's not filled with this sense of guilt. Well, I might push back against that. I think that actually she probably does have guilt for feeling like she abandoned her sister.
Yeah.
It's like in that moment of what we saw in episode 3. Yeah, it makes sense of why she acted the way she did. It's like, who the fuck wouldn't? However, after some time has passed, it's like they both kind of miss and need each other a little bit.
Oh yeah, they're both hurting.
They grew up together, yeah.
Yeah, and they both gotta miss each other. Deep down. And Vander, I mean, there's also that connecting them too, is Vander was their father figure.
Well, I like how they've evolved their characters. Is Violet was she's more fun.
Yeah.
She's got more of this sarcastic edge to her.
Yeah.
But you can still feel that anger and pain within her. Where, like, in the first 3 episodes, she was more angsty. And obviously we've talked a lot about how Powder has evolved into who she is now. The credits credit her as Jinx, though,
Yeah.
So that's the part where I become a little bit hesitant, because I'm like, nah, I think she's still just Powder underneath it all.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's also probably just to denote, like, she's older now. But yeah, I feel like that's part of her character, is that grappling between Powder and Jinx. And I love that when she's doing the boxing game or whatever, the leaderboard still says POW.
Well, I think a big part of, that's what I mean, is she misses that part of her past.
Yeah.
And also, in some ways, you can kind of read into it as who Powder became was her trying to live up to who Violet is.
Oh, absolutely.
And so putting up the boxing stuff and doing all that, watching how she evolved, it's like she just went down a different path.
Yeah.
But physically and what she's capable of is equul to Violet's. So it's like, you gotta get a fight between the two of them.
Yeah.
Gotta get that fight scene.
That's gonna be heavy. That's gonna be harsh.
It's gonna be a harsh thing to unpack there.
That fight with Sevika, whatever her name is, with the arm, that was intense and a lot for Vi to handle. And she handled, she needed help ultimately at the end. She held her own, but when she and Jinx square off, I can only imagine it's gonna be that much heavier of a showdown. Because Jinx she's had all this time if there's one thing she's definitely improved at, it's making all her inventions work.
What was the serum that Silco invented power-up serum.
Yeah. I don't remember what the true nature of it is.
Because how has he gone to, like, distribute all that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we saw it as like a prototype, I feel like, or you know, yeah, early stages in that first episode with Deckard, or second episode where he, you know, gives it. I gotta kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, I got one of those like, well, we gotta try it on a person now. You know?
Yeah.
And so it seems like since then he's probably had a lot of time to perfect and, you know, refine that tech, and maybe Powder's had something, Jinx has had something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, it's certainly advanced, and it's certainly integrated into, you know, tech.
Because it seems like the way they're using, because I thought there'd be a little bit more use to that, but I guess it's just used as a form of muscle.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of it seems like it would be hard to use it for anything other than that because of how kind of it seems like Sevik is able to control it a little better, because I remember
She
that
controls the doses.
Yeah, and I mean, like in that fight in the warehouse with Vander and everything, it seemed like it made them a bit more erratic.
That's true. That's true.
So you are like kind of literally hulking out, whereas now it feels more of just like a heavy power up or something.
Yeah. Then we got that cop.
Yeah,
who I have a hard time feeling bad for. I don't feel bad for him at all. I'm like, you're a dick. I don't like you. I don't like him at all.
I was almost starting to feel something for him, because yeah, like in the first act, he's just so insufferable. He's just like such a, and especially seeing him from that POV, you know, and when you know the I feel like under Vander's rule of Zahn, Piltover probably feels that much more powerful, whereas Silco's is a little more dubious, and so I started to have pangs of like, it's funny, right when they did the fake out with him blowing himself up, I almost blurted out, oh, I was just beginning to maybe almost warm up to you. But I don't know. I mean, I'm also curious to see what becomes of that character, because I could totally see them sympathizing him more down the line. But yeah, he's you know.
I just see like everything that he's done. Like, come on, man, you helped get this guy to the power position that he's in.
Yeah.
And you're like top of the corruption chain.
You can't, yeah, it's like you gotta be smarter than to count on your authority here, you know, because, yeah, when Vander was in charge, maybe there was a different kind of arrangement, but here it's like, you're not in charge, man.
And of course, then we got Jayce.
Yes.
Which, it's just hard to find that as compelling and interesting.
I feel like I've been thinking about why that might be, and I feel like more so than any other character, we don't get as much from his, like, they're good at putting you through the camera and various other things literally into various characters' perspectives, whereas I don't feel like we do that as much with Jayce. We sort of explore the circumstances surrounding him and what people want him to do. And, you know, he makes some interesting and sort of nuanced choices within that, but I don't feel as much as though we have been as personal with him as we were when they were first cracking, you know, when he and his partner were first cracking the magic and all that.
Well, and also with this storyline, I think something that gets lost in the time jump is that they keep telling us, maybe there's something I missed, so feel free to let me know in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of pondering right now. They talk a lot about the Hextech and how much that has influenced and changed their entire city and everything. And yeah, we don't really get to see how or why. They kind of just keep telling us stuff, but we don't get to see really how the evolution has been affected by it.
It doesn't feel like a huge part of the society beyond the gate.
Yeah, and I know they haven't like perfected it yet, and I mean there's more to do with it to really have it be more like primal and tangible and all that jazz. But at the same time, it's like they kind of you just hear them talk about it, but you don't see the way like the people have responded to this, or really what it's done, you know, for the people. It's like they just kind of know about it, but we haven't seen that effect. And we spend so much time with the political aspects of the council and such.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're in the undercity, you know, you got your people who are just people who are part of the undercity, people like a Violet, you know, who you follow. Oh my God, all you guys right now are choosing the worst time to ask for my attention, and I'm trying to talk to the people. At the same time, I got all you guys in the back of my head, and I'm worried about y'all fighting. So, yes, we have, where was I? Something about...
We got the people in the lower city.
You got the people in the lower city, and then you got the people who in the undercity who you also see are at the top of the food chain in the undercity. Mm-hmm. Whereas I really feel like with Pivot, what was it called? Pivotal?
Oh goodness.
Priority city.
I could
picking
pivotal I had it.
Pinocchio.
Pipalock.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That city.
Piltane.
That city, I feel like we only hang out with the higher ups.
Yes.
Like the top of the chain, so we don't get a real sense of what this world is like for people.
Yeah,
you know?
and it was like teetering almost on that when you were seeing like the festivities and things like that for Progress Day back in the last episode, but...
Am I just supposed to assume everyone just has just super splendid?
I guess, yeah. It would be nice to maybe have some more street level in Piltover.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, because that was something that had crossed my mind as well. Is like when you go to Zon, even if you don't spend a ton of time there, you meet just the folks who inhabit the place, and you see what the life is in different corners of there. Whereas Piltover feels like everything is upscale.
And maybe that's
all.
Maybe that's the way it is. But I spend so much time with people talking about like, you know, it's going to affect thousands of jobs in the city and the imports. And I'm like, I don't ever see any of that though. You guys keep talking about it, so it makes it harder for me to really care as much about what's going on there.
And it makes the council feel more isolated.
Yeah, and the energy of it. I mean, bottom line is like, they just don't put as much time into making they don't have any scenes that call for it. That's what I like about their expressive use of the animation, is that they really go all out and go eccentric and become like wildly eclectic and expressive when the moment calls for it. And that's usually only with the underground people, undercity people.
Yeah.
But in the upper part, it's all just, you know, politics and stuff, so you don't really get much of the awesome animation things to do because the scenes don't warrant it, so there's no reason to do it. At the same time though, the story that they're telling themselves, I know that by the end, I have so much faith in this show though, that by the time we come to the ending moments, or when you really see that they're on the brink of like essentially what would be a civil war, because they're all the same people, just divided, right? Yeah. So it essentially become a civil war between them to some extent, whatever's brewing right now, and that'll make all that worth it. Like, I totally get it, you know, especially with Jayce wanting to actually end the corruption and stuff like that. That will become rewarding and be a big payoff. It's just right now, whenever we cut to it, I'm not as I'm more like, okay, I'm getting this. It's interesting.
Yeah,
but I'm not as like emotionally. I'm not as engaged to it. Even though I'm a little bit concerned for Jayce and how he's being manipulated and becoming this pawn.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned for the bigger scope of that and interested in the bigger scope of that. And I feel like the most expressive element of the Piltover stuff was with Viktor, where he's having these strange visions.
Anything to do with the hex magic, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that stuff, like, that was the most interesting stuff there this episode. I mean, like, the political intrigue, it does get me to an extent, but yeah, feeling more of the effect and more of the sort of, I feel the intertwining politics of, again, these few leaders that we keep seeing, but not so much, the overarching, like, you feel the effects on Zon just because they do so much to highlight the disparity and the fact that, you know, because they are neglected, essentially, you know, like, that's the effect that Piltover has on them. But yeah, I think it would bolster the political stuff to feel beyond Zon what the repercussions of that could be. And I mean, that could also divert focus. Like, I understand why maybe they're not trying to dive as hard into there, but I feel like it could bolster some of the Piltover stuff, because it also makes it a lot easier to side with everybody in Zon, you know, get really any personal thing with the people of Piltover to latch or not latch onto.
Yeah. And like in the underground, there's so much life in different places. They fucking went to a brothel in this episode.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. Like, all I ever feel like I see is the council and labs in the end.
Yeah, it's like all in that one big, you know, central building.
And I don't get a sense of anything else. And so I'd like to, if they did a little bit more, like, I thought with the festivities you might see more of that, but Obviously not. So really, the real emotional, real gripping storytelling is all coming from the main people from the Undercity.
Although I will give it, I hope we get more of like what's in the prologue, because with Kate, like that was an instance where I was like, oh, cool, we're seeing outside the city, we're in the countryside, we're in like, you know, wealthy countryside, and we're at a function, and we're getting at least a little bit of a personal thing. And so I feel like Kate is the most interesting Piltover player right now.
True. That's very true. But yeah, guys, those are our thoughts for today. We got episode 6 to get through now. Fucking great. Yeah. It's a great show. It's great. Good, amazing show.
And then Act 3 coming up.
Then Act 3, and you know, shit's really gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
This is cool. They got this like big thing they're building to, like the big thing, but then you got a real personal story happening between Violet and Powder.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably that's like the best part of it.
Mm-hmm. That's the heart.
Yeah, because if it's only the big thing, and you won't give a shit about it. You know.
Fair enough.
All right, guys, leave your thoughts down below. We'll talk soon.